Hi folks, I'm smoking my Meerschaum again, and in it this time I've got Peterson's Special Reserve 2016, which is a very nice aromatic. Yesterday I made a mistake. Well, I made a bad tweet or comment on Facebook. I knew what was in my mind and I just wrote it down. But then when I thought about it during the night, I realised that it just didn't come across like that. It came across like a stupid, insensitive post. And so I wrote an apology this morning. I don't know whether the person's seen it or even will accept that. I don't know whether the post affected the person. I imagine it did. It certainly affected me. You know, it's something that we take for granted, the speed of being able to write something down. You have in your mind something that they don't. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what the post means because you haven't put it there. It's up here. And you've just written, with this engine running, thinking that they know what you mean. And sometimes they don't. I was horrified during the night when I sort of thought about it. It hadn't meant to be insensitive. I hadn't meant to be funny or clever. I was just making a point that was running through my mind. But the words I used were the wrong words. And that's made me really think about things a bit. One of the advantages of YouTube is that you can see me. You can hear the beginning and the end. You can see my face as I'm speaking, and hopefully you can see whether I'm being nasty or whether I'm really trying to think something through or whether I'm being nice. But the written word you can't. So I think I have to think much more about commenting on YouTube and on Twitter. And in fact, I'm going to be very careful about commenting at all. Because it's too easy to make a mess. Now, okay, maybe I should have just thought, well, I didn't mean it. Nobody said anything. Why worry? And it's the same with commenting on YouTube videos. Although it's a little easier because you can usually comment on what somebody else has said. One of the things that I learnt when I was when we were learning counselling was not to have your engine running while the person was talking. In other words, not trying to work out the answer that you were going to give whilst they were saying what they wanted to say. Because you'd make a mess of it. And I forgot all that, much to my shame. And I notice sometimes that some comments that people get are really vicious or nasty or contain language that gives the wrong impression. Sometimes we answer before we're hurt. It's almost as if we are expecting to get condemned for what we say. So therefore, when we say it, we add that little bit of justification or of comment. And we really need to think about that, or at least I need to think about that. I'm not assuming that you're as thick as me. But it made me want to share with you how I'd really messed it up. I'm not going to go into what I said. I'm not going to go into who I said it to. But I did say it to someone that I admire greatly, that I would want to be a friend to, that I would want to support. And I don't know now what that person thinks. And it's very difficult to maybe find out, because you don't want to stir up something that isn't there. But neither do you want to allow any pain to continue, and hence my written apology. So at least I hope the person can come back at me if they want. It's strange. We want to be friends. We want to do the best we can for each other on YouTube. And people say nice things about me, and my empathy and my wanting to say the kind word. But I'm not sure whether I deserve that. I just know that within me is the desire to do the best I can, to say the best I can, to be the best I can. And sometimes when you fail in that, it affects you. And I think what we have to do then is to admit we were wrong, and then move on to try and rebuild trust, to try and rebuild relationships. YouTube is a wonderful thing. Facebook can be a wonderful thing. Twitter can be a wonderful thing. Messaging and all those other things can be powerful for good. But I hope that I never again relax and take it too easy, to think that other people know what's in my mind, what's in my heart, so that they know the words I write are what I mean and are good, that I mean the best. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to go on too long, and you may think it's all self, and self-indulgence and all that kind of thing. But I hope it's not. I hope it challenges you as much as it challenges me. You know, we might think that we know what we mean when we use particular language. One of the things we were talking about that Steve was talking about in one of his videos on his trip to Newcastle was a man called Billy Connolly. Now, Billy's a comedian. He's brilliant, and he uses the F word and all sorts of things. But there isn't an ounce of malice in that man. There isn't an ounce of anger. The words are what he grew up with, where he worked as a welder, and in his life. But some people find him terribly offensive. Some people find him unacceptable. But I hope that when we make those mistakes, people stop to think, did he really mean that? It doesn't seem like what he usually is. I want to say to you, and I want to say to me, think twice before you write. And as you're writing, read it and think the third time. And if necessary, scrap it. That was heavy. Now, may God richly bless you. May your life overflow with blessing. May you be aware of them, and may you receive them. And may your God always and forever be with you.